regard being videotaped as something that's intimidating to you?
In my capacity as what, as on my personal time or no, my working hours?
I take it the videotaping of you has been done when you're in your work capacity, right?
Okay,
Is that true?
yes,
And do you regard that as being intimidating?
yes.
Why?
It just seems like just such an invasion of your space.
We're saying invasion of your space. You also testified that most of the videotaping occurs from a greater remove in terms of distance. So why do you?
Objection.
That was your testimony? Well, she can change it.
Mr. Jason.
The objection was a greater distance without any specificity. Her testimony was very clear in terms of the approximate feet people were standing from her during the videotaping.
I'm taking good notes on it. The question's proper. I mean, it's cross-examination.
You're saying that the videotaping is intimidating across the board, or only when it's within a certain vertical range?
Well, it's intimidating to the sense if they're this close or where you are, they're still capturing me.
Is that intimidating?
Yes,
So you're saying regardless of distance, the fact that you're doing videotape is intimidating?
yeah.
And why is it intimidating?
It's just, I just find it's just, I don't have any peace. I don't have any place I can go. It's like somebody looking in your window all the time.
But you're on duty, correct?
Yes, sir.
They're not intimidating, they're not videotaping you in your home or in your private time, correct?
Right. No.
You testified earlier that certain of the defendants walked across the street without using a crosswalk, is that correct? Did you ever report their activities to, well, let me ask you, does the city of Keene have an ordinance that requires you to use crosswalks?
There's no jaywalking.
Is there some ordinance that requires the use of crosswalks?
Yeah, you should use a crosswalk.
And is it fair to say that there are lots of people, quite apart from the defendants, don't use crosswalks?
I would say so.
And have you ever reported within your apartment or within the city any of the defendants for engaging in jaywalking?
No.
If any of the defendants did something which you thought created a danger to themselves or others, would you not report it to the city?
I would report it to the city.
And have you had occasion to make any such report?
No.
Thank you, I have no further questions. Rika?
Briefly.
Excuse me, Mr.
Actually, I should say, Mr. Iyer, I did
Oh,
not,
sorry, yeah.
did not mean to, do you have any questions for the witness?
Afternoon. You noted earlier that when you go out in your official capacity as a park enforcement officer, you wear a uniform, is that correct?
That's correct.
You noted the dress that's usually worn based on the weather. I'm also curious, are there electronics that you have with you as part of that uniform?
Two-way radio?
Okay.
Yeah.
A two-way
Cell
radio?
phone? Yeah.
And use that radio to communicate with your colleagues?
Both, yes.
Okay, and you noted earlier as well that you use a cell phone to sometimes give a heads up to your colleagues as well, correct?
Yeah.
And so might that accurately be defined as a conspiracy?
I don't understand the question.
I'm just using the definition of conspiracy as it was levied earlier, being organized communication with two or more people.
No.
Okay, well, moving on, you've noted derogatory, you used the words derogatory and disturbing, taunting to describe some of the actions that some of the folks told to be here have allegedly done. But I guess, is there a job responsibilities that you're familiar with when you took the position as a PEO? That states expectations and roles and responsibilities?
That's correct, it's in that job description, but I don't think when that was put into description, it was to this level.
Right, so you're familiar, I guess, kind of jumped my question, you're familiar with the bullet point in that job description that notes park employment officers are to endure verbal and mental abuse when confronted by hostile views and opinions?
Yes.
And so you would define some of the things that these derogatory, disturbing, and taunting as hostile views and opinions?
Yes,
And so you are, when you took your position as a PEO, you knew that that might be part of the job.
correct. But like I said, when it was written, I don't think it was meant to be on a daily basis.
Right, but to your knowledge, there's no frequency or timeline that specifies that, is there? It just says endure verbal and mental abuse when confronted by hostile views and opinions, correct?
Correct.
Okay, third, I want to point to the picture number 15 that Mr. Bowers shared, which showed an individual that was identified with a black shirt on the left side of the picture.
Do you have that picture in front of you?
I do now, yes.
You may proceed
Okay.
to drive.
Could you identify that person by name?
No, I don't know him.
You mentioned you used the word confrontation. Can you give a brief description of what unfolded after that picture was taken?
Verbal confrontation.
There was a merely a verbal confrontation that occurred?
That's what I witnessed, yes.
You didn't see any physical confrontation?
No,
Did you later learn the physical confrontation?
later.
Did you, so you yourself were present on the scene when
I did not witness anything but verbal.
would you describe that verbal confrontation as aggressive before you left the scene?
It was heated.
Is one of your roles and responsibilities listed in the PEO that's you acknowledged having seen when you took the position to aid individuals who are in danger of physical harm?
Correct.
Did
And
you
so
do that
in
at
order
that
to,
time?
Okay, we need to have, and I understand you're representing yourself in your honor, but ma'am, you need to let the question be finished before you respond, and Mr. Ira, if you let the witness finish her answer before, otherwise you're talking over each other,
So she was not complete with her answer, Judge.
If, did you have anything further you wanted to
yes,
say?
yes. When this picture was taken, there was the heated, loud voices. I was walking away in order to do that because I couldn't hear anything that was going on, and I wasn't gonna key my mic with all that noise going on. As I got away, these other things, finding out afterwards, occurred. At that time, I heard Jane radio, so there's no reason for both of us to do that.
Okay, thanks for the clarification. So before you left that scene, that you acknowledged there were some heated verbal exchanges, I guess as a public employee, did you think it might be wise to try to defuse the situation rather than leave the situation?
In this case, I thought it was wiser to remove myself so I could report it in hear the responses that were coming, that I don't think in my physical capacity that I was gonna be able to stop anything, and I needed to call people and ask them for help.
So you thought aiding individuals who are in danger of physical harm would better be served by removing yourself from the situation than
In
being
order to-
there and being a witness
Ma'am,
and
you have to
trying
let
to defuse the
the question be
situation?
finished. Yes, please finish your question.
Sorry, I was just asking, you thought in keeping with your roles and responsibilities that aiding individuals who are in danger of physical harm could better be served by removing yourself from the situation and not being a witness and not trying to defuse it?
I was removing myself in order to call.
Okay. I guess I'm curious, it seems like you've noted that when you're satisfied with your job, you're content, and you might say that you have pride in being able to provide that, be in that position. Is that correct? I mean, is integrity a characteristic that you would point to?
I think anyone that's assigned any job should take pride in what they do.
If you saw a colleague doing something that you thought out of line, would you bring that to the attention of others?
That I thought it was out of line? Yes.
Well, having noted that I myself haven't participated in these activities, why then did you not speak out when you learned that I was named in this preliminary injunction?
I did,
You let them know that I was involved?
yes.
Okay, I appreciate it. And some of the comments you made, specifically about James Cleveland taunting, and I guess some of the other, I'll just leave it with James Cleveland, but about James Cleveland's comments that he allegedly said, I wasn't there, so I'm paraphrasing, but equating your job as stealing from people. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, was there a verbal answer?
Yeah, if you
Yes.
have to, if you
Yes.
say yes or no, because the record can't pick up.
Okay.
And you've been employed as a parking enforcement officer since early 2000, that's correct? So
January,
how is your salary, your $20 an hour salary paid for?
through the parking fund,
And how's the parking fund, where does that money come from?
the meters and the fines.
So it's entirely contingent on fines generated. The parking enforcement office is completely self-sufficient in that respect.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
There's no money that's taxpayer money.
No.
Okay, earlier you were asked by Mr. Myers, I believe, if there was a quota system, a daily quota system. Is that correct?
I was asked that, yes.
And you indicated that there was not a daily quota, correct?
Yes.
Is there an annual document that notes the number of parking tickets given per year and the projected number of parking tickets sought?
As compared to the previous year?
Correct.
Yes.
Is that then not a quota applied to an annual basis rather than a daily basis?
No, it's not like this is how many you have to go out and get in order to achieve this. It's just the amount that you did arrive at compared to the year before.
Right, but metrics are identified as potential goals, correct? The numbers roughly of 25,000 tickets given in one calendar year versus 28 or 9,000 sought the next calendar year, those are metrics sought as goals, correct?
No, I don't think they're goals. I think they're just comparisons.
So if you went into one of these annual meetings and they said, hey, we gave out 5,000 tickets this year, but next year we're gonna give 5,000, you wouldn't, that wouldn't cause you to act differently?
Objection, relevant, John, I didn't object before, but now we're really getting far afield.
how is this relevant to the request for preliminary injunctive relief?
Well, this is specifically, these numbers are mentioned in the affidavit, so it is relevant. And I'm bringing it up because of, to demonstrate that statements that quotas aren't in existence, at least daily quotas. I want to point out that in fact you can infer them from a yearly number arrived at by maybe not the individual testifying right now, but her colleagues.